the electorate. In fact, I remember one member of parliament belonging to the Socialist Party from Andhra Pradesh was the first parliament. He told me long afterwards, he was out of parliament, I said, how come? The Socialist Party, Congress Socialist Party at that time, it was Socialist Party, fresh it was, Congress Socialist Party it was, with all people, brilliant people, Acharya Narendra Deva, Jayaprakash Narayan, Ramana Lohia, Ashok Mehta and all that. We were all expecting that Bombay they will sweep the polls. And in Lok Sabha, but I said, what happened? They all lost some margins. He said, the tactic was simple. The Congress Party, SK Party, others, what they did was, they bribed this, they tempted the voter. In those days, the vote was like a ballot paper was, just a paper like a 1 rupee note. He said, you go inside, take the vote, don't put it in the box, bring it out. You can encash it for 10 rupees. For one small paper, 10 rupees. And you will have a joy ride. They will take you to the booth, etc. Feed you nicely. This is the way we have corrupted the electorate, innocent electorate. And today, I find that people are demanding money from different parties, collecting it. They feel this is the only thing we can get, nothing more than this. Now tell me what kind of democracy you can have. The tragedy is, even in professional bodies, people are adopting methods which ought not be adopted. How can you get a Chetalwad to head any organization today? Would he be considered at all for, he will lose deposit if there is a deposit. Therefore, the tragedy of the country is the legal profession has failed in its duty. It is allowing corruption to enter the portals of judiciary. We are parties to it. Otherwise, how can you do that? There is a book, I want every one of you to read it. The title of the book is The State of the Nation. A few months later, it was released. And there is one chapter is devoted to this, combating corruption in higher judiciary. At one time, when I entered the bar, I was a latecomer, corruption was not thought of. But today, it has become a topic everywhere. Not only that, one judge, one former Chief Justice, when he was Chief Justice, the impeachment proceedings started against him. And by the time it was initiated, already his name was recommended by the Collegium for Supreme Court. And when this heat became unbearable, it was not proceeded further. It was stopped. Ultimately, when under the Judges Enquiry Act, an inquiry was initiated, and a show cause notice was issued after doing good deal of spade work. And when notice was issued, he could not answer the notice. Allegations were specific. Tell me, how do you allow such appointments to be made in the first instance? Therefore, something is seriously wrong. At a time when legislature does not function, you see every session, people rush to the well of the house, stall the proceedings, raise some issue or the other. They just don't bother about the interest of the people. Executive is drawn from these people. And they spend money in election, get elected, and collect more money. We are in a vicious circle. Somebody has to break it. Is it kind of independence that our forefathers fought, sacrificing whatever they had at that time? And many of them were leading members of the bar. Great people, including Mahatma Gandhi onwards. Now, therefore, we have a tremendous responsibility today. And this association is blessed with leaders of great caliber. I don't have to mention their names. You have seen them, many of them here, and they're here. We are fortunate to have their leadership. We have to, again, wage another war of independence. Independence from corruption, independence from misgovernance. And for whose sake? For the sake of the common man. We are a profession. A profession is not a business. Those who try to make it a business are unfit to be in the profession. We should think of the common man, work for the common man. What does he want? He wants basic necessities of life. And above all, as Singh has said, dignity. That is the most important thing which is emphasized by the Constitution. That is to promote fraternity among all citizens, assuring the dignity of the individual and integrated unity of the nation. Friends, I am concluding. At a time when we are now surrounded by neighbors, can you count one single neighbor as your friend on whom you can depend? Even Bhutan is giving room for doubts, which was dependent on us. Therefore, at a time like this, we have to close our ranks, stand united, and fight for our constitutional position and rights. Who can do it except the legal community and legal fraternity? Our responsibility, if we don't do it, we'll be failing it. We want good judges, yes. This bill is not the bill we wanted. Problem is there. We want something better than the collegium system. So that judges like the judge we have here today would not have to wait for years together, would have come much earlier for the good of the country. How to ensure that? Let us work out a concrete plan and work for it. Put across to all the people who matter, all members of parliament. If necessary, let us march to the President of India in a huge procession involving the entire Bar of India. I am willing to march with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. P.P. Rao. You mentioned about Parliament being stalled, but we were more disturbed by the sudden bonhomie to pass the Constitution Amendment Bill shown in Rajya Sabha. Now, before calling upon Priya to give a vote of thanks, Justice Singhvi has given the real meaning to the rule of law by enforcing the true heart of the law in terms of some judgments relating to land acquisition. So where the law was mute, he gave the voice of justice to it. So here today we have an aspiring lawyer who is impaired by his senses, but endowed with creative ability, who has very lovingly made a portrait of Justice Singhvi, which we will like to present to him as a token of affection from the entire bar. Now I will call upon our treasurer, Ms. Priya Hingorani, to give a formal vote of thanks.
As we come to the close of the valedictory session, I take this opportunity to thank Honorable Justice Singhvi for his kind presence, for having accepted our request to come and deliver the valedictory address. And I would like to share this with our young students here, that it's always a pleasure to appear in Justice Singhvi's court for all of us. And the reason is, though of course we are a little scared when we go to his court, if we are not properly prepared, but the beautiful part of it is that we all are equal before his eyes when we appear in court. And that's a very, very great quality. And we thank you, sir, for giving opportunity to all the younger members of the bar and to all of us equally. I'd like this opportunity to thank Mr. Neriman for his guidance, for his being the leader, the backbone of the Bar Association of India for so many years, and showering his blessings on all of us. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Krishnamani, the President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, Mr. Ashok Desai, Vice President of the Bar Association, former Attorney General, Mr. Soli Sorabji, former Attorney General of India, Mr. K.N. Bhatt, one of our Vice President of the Bar Association of India, Ms. Pinky Anand, Senior Advocate, and a very, very eminent lady lawyer in India, Mr. V. Shekhar, Senior Advocate, Mr. Rajiv Datta, Senior Advocate, my father, who is here, who's the senior most member here today, who is 92, Mr. N.H. Shingorani. Yes. Mr. A.T.M. Sampath, one of our senior members of the bar. We had the occasion of honoring Mr. Lalit Bhasin today for completing 50 years, who has been the Secretary of the Bar Association for many years. Though he is not present here today, he had to take a flight. But on behalf of the Bar Association, we honored him, and we thank him for his always being part of the Bar Association of India. I'd like to take this opportunity to specially thank all the delegates who have come from the 21 states. Thank you for being here and making this conference a success. All the members of the Executive Committee of the Bar Association of India for their time and effort. A special thanks to Prashant, and the Honorary Secretary, Yakesh Anand, Triveni Potikar, Jitendra Mahapatra, M.S. Prasad. I acknowledge the presence of Apeksha and Parush, the young team that we have who have worked tirelessly throughout the time, these 2 days. Thanks to all the session chairs who have chaired the session so excellently and maintained the time limits of all the sessions, the co-chairs, all our speakers, and especially the session coordinators who have made sure everything ran very smoothly. A special thanks to Mr. Sharma and Ram Kishore, who have been working for the last 2 months to make this conference a success and comfortable for all of us. Thank you, Sharma ji and Ram Kishore. Thanks to the print and electronic media for covering the event. They had a very nice write-up in today's Indian Express. And also, finally, to all you participants, members of the bar and law students who have come here. And the only request that I have to all of you, don't go back to your daily routine. Please see that this dream of our seniors, of our honorable judges, of the role of the legal profession in building the nation into a strong nation becomes true. Thank you very much.